Good day, everyone. My name is Dafe Ogenekari Dafe. I'm a community health practitioner, but you can also call me Scroplus CHP. Now, in my last video, which is my introductory video, I said that this week, and for the purpose of this video, I'll be explaining some definition of terms so that we can be able to get acquainted with these terms and also have a clue and insight when we hear about them and also know their meanings and what they entails. So firstly, we'll be talking about the word ethics. Now, when we say ethics, what does ethics mean? Ethics are simply rules. Ethics are rules. Do not be deceived. Ethics are rules. They are not something that is brought from somewhere else to come and start causing chaos in our brain, thinking, and all that. Ethics are just rules. But also, not underestimating the fact that they are just rules. You cannot give a definition of ethics in your question sheet as just merely ethics can be defined as rules. So this is the proper definition of ethics, of the word ethics. You see, ethics is a system, a written document or rules observed with a very high standard of respect by a profession which guides and controls their moral behavior and manifests in character and mind. As we all know, ethics is a broad-wide used word, meaning every profession has an ethics. No profession on this earth does not have an ethics. Even the doctors have ethics, the engineers have ethics, the civil engineers have ethics, even the military has ethics. Every single part and every profession in this world has to do with an ethics, meaning they have a rule. They have rules to follow, and when you break those rules, you'll be held accountable for it. So, nextly, we'll be talking about etiquette. Now, what are etiquette? We say etiquette means codes of manners. When we talk about ethics, I'll be giving you a brief differentiation between the word ethics and etiquette also. I'll be giving a brief or just say a single difference between the word ethics and etiquette. But let's look into the definition of an etiquette. We say etiquettes are or etiquette means codes of manners, behaviors, or actions which are expected of a professional under certain conditions and circumstances, which is to be observed by all in a profession. Now, what does it mean? It means etiquette is our own personality, our own, how would I put it? Let me say, our own build up as humans towards our profession. And this will lead me to the similarity between ethics and etiquette. Don't forget, I also talked about stating one difference between ethics and etiquette and one similarity. Now I'm adding one similarity between ethics and etiquette and a difference between ethics and etiquette. Now, I'll start with the similarity. The similarity between ethics and etiquette is that if you look at them, both of them takes time to understand. That is my one that's my one relationship between them. Now, ethics has to do with timing. You have to learn. It's a process. You have to learn the rules. You have to let the rules govern you, and that is why we have to go to school to learn these rules. And after learning these rules and after being completely filled with these ethics, we now come out to say, or we now come out to boldly say, we are part of so, and so profession. Why ethics also takes time to. After learning them, you have to build on it. You have to build on it. Build on the ethics. Build on the ethics. Make sure it embodies you. And when it embodies you, it now shows as code of your personal manner. Meaning, there are ways you are to be able to present yourself as a community health practitioner or as a health practitioner to people that sees you. There are ways you are to address issues, and people will be able to determine if you are really a health practitioner or not. So that is simply the similarity between ethics and etiquette. They both take time. You have to master one and you have to build on one. Now, the difference is that ethics is a written document, while etiquette is not a written document. That is one of the differences between ethics and etiquette. So, moving on, we'll be talking about a brief definition or explanation of what or who a client is. Now, when we say client, everyone has a client. The lawyer has a client, the doctor has a client, even the engineer has a client too, and also the bankers also have clients. And also, don't forget, a community health practitioner also has a client. Now, who is a client according to a community health, or according to community health practice, who is a client? We say a client is a healthy individual which comes to the health facility to seek further medical services, receives commodities, health education, medical advice, and care. That is simply just it. A client is someone that is healthy. When you say a client as a health professional or as a community health practitioner, when you hear the word client, it does not necessarily mean that the person that you are calling a client is sick in our own perspective, because we are mainly focused on the preventive aspect rather than the curative aspect of health. So when we say a client, it does not really mean or necessarily mean that the person is sick. So that is what you have to register at the back of your mind. So moving forward, we'll also be talking about uh, the definition of health according to WHO. We say health according to WHO can be defined as a state of physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of a disease or infirmity. It's a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual, not merely the absence of a disease or infirmity. And lastly, to round it up, we'll be talking about, or I'll be giving a definition of the word, or yes, let me say a word. I'll be giving a definition of the word community health, or I'll be defining what community health means. Now, you see, community health, what does it mean when you hear the word community health? Now, we have talked about ethics, we have talked about etiquette, we have talked about who a client is, we have talked about health by WHO. Now, what or what is the definition of community health in general? We say community health can be defined as a branch of medicine. Remember, community health can be defined as a branch of medicine which is highly concerned, which is highly concerned about the health of the individual, about the health of the family, about the health of the group, about the health of a community, about the health of a nation, and about the health of the world at large. And that is the definition of community health. And lastly, before I go, I'd love to talk about code of professional conduct. Now, what is code of professional conduct? When we say code of professional conduct, we say these are collection of rules, laws, and standards which guides and controls a profession. Meaning, code of professional conduct entails both your ethics and your etiquette. So, thank you, and come again next week, and I'll be dropping another video. So, if you want this to be an enjoyable process, seeing me on your screen giving little detailed, but details and informations that matters. So, giving details about community health practice. So, stay tuned. It's your boy say, your little man, scrupulous CHP.